Oh boy. As much as it pains me to do this episode, I must make it because there is something seriously wrong with the Boston Red Sox organization right now, and as a Red Sox fan myself, I feel obligated to call the fact that it is a legitimate clown show in the Boston Red Sox organization. So, on episode 20 of Warning Track Power, the podcast, we are gonna take a look at what is happening in Boston and maybe how they might be able to fix it, approach to the trade deadline, and other stuff that might be going wrong. Let's do it. For starters, the offensive meltdown of the Boston Red Sox this year is wasting an incredible pitching staff. This offense came into the year as a projected top 10 in baseball. But, as we know, projections don't always become the most accurate things. And let's see, what are they actually ranked as? In hits, they are the 21st team in baseball. They are 29th in home runs, 27th in OPS, and 30th in runs batted in. You heard that right. 30th. Last in MLB in runs batted in. Come on. Are you serious? You're telling me at Fenway Park you can't drive in runs? Come on right now. I mean, go around the horn. Caleb Durbin, Trevor Story, Marcelo Meyer, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Wilson Contreras. That infield on paper looks not bad. In reality, they have been terrible. Contreras has been the only one that's actually doing something this season. And the outfield, Roman Anthony, he's hurt. Cedar Rafaela is playing well, but he's not really the most powerful hitter of the team. And then Yoshida, no. Jarren Duran, no. You don't really have a lot of power in this lineup, and that's something that you need. But the thing that sucks is that they are wasting great pitching. I will say before we get into the great pitching, I will go into the not so great pitching. Brian Bayo is genuinely the most confusing arm to me in the game because you look what he did in the World Baseball Classic and it was masterful stuff. You look what he did spring training, he was good. Last year he was good. He was never great, he was never bad. This season he sucks. 61 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts, and a 6.34 ERA. You're joking. Now, with him and, an injured Crochet, I'll get to Crochet in a second. They are 11th in whip, that's walks, hits per innings pitched, and 8th in ERA. So their pitching staff, even without Crochet and with a terrible Brian Bayo, is still performing good. So what is causing them to perform good? Well, their de facto ace, Sonny Gray, he's got an 8-1 record with 3.12 ERA. The rookie success, Peyton Toley's got a 2.93 ERA, and Connolly Early with a 3.64. Those guys have been good this year. And Aroldis Chapman out of the back of the bullpen, 14 saves and a sub-1 ERA. That's just unstoppable stuff out of the back of your bullpen. Now, the Garrett Crochet nightmare and the ineffectiveness to communicate injuries. I mean, you look at Roman Anthony, his wrist injury, it was like, oh yeah, it's just a partial tear. And then Chad Tracy was like, oh, yeah, he's going to be out for a while. Oh, no, he's going to be fine. He's progressing. Same thing with Garrett Crochet here. He's extended absence. He went down in April and May. It is June 22nd at time of recording this. And we still have an unclear timeline as to when he will get back. He was put on the 15-day IL before he exhausted his time there, so he then got moved to the 60-day IL because it was only supposed to be about a 15-day IL injury. Chad Tracy, the interim manager, claims that he is progressing. But Crochet to the Boston Globe said, it is taking longer than expected, and he hasn't even played catch yet. And Chad Tracy claims he's progressing? I don't really know about that. Now, the coaching staff, the big storyline from earlier this year, Red Sox fire all their coaches. Red Sox fire manager Alex Cora. And, well, sometimes it's like, oh, maybe this is the turnaround point. It was not. They did not turn it around. Alex Cora got fired, and it has caused clubhouse nightmares for this team. We are calling it here a dead clubhouse. The young guys are lost. They don't know what to do. And the veterans, they're spacing out. There is a lack of chemistry on the diamond, and that is causing this team to play terribly. Now, one of the final points that I want to bring up to the struggles of this team, Craig Breslow versus the Fenway Sports Group, the SFP, the FSP, that is the ownership of the Boston Red Sox. Now, Craig Breslow is the head of baseball operations, if you do not know that, for the Boston Red Sox, and he is taking full blame for the team's struggles. Why is he getting full blame? Because, he's the one that makes all the moves. Well, let me get this straight. He's making moves under the constraints of the FSP, and the constraints on him have been getting tighter and tighter and tighter every season. There's just no allowance for any sort of creation of depth in offense, in pitching, that this team desperately needs to win. The ownership has tightened the budgetary constraints on Breslow, and that is really tanking this team's possibility to build depth. Now, let me say one more thing about this, right? If Breslow and the Fenway Sports Group, their, budget situation's not really working, do the Red Sox find themselves in a position where they are salary dumping at the deadline? They are sellers. I genuinely don't even care. They are selling at the deadline. If they don't sell at the deadline, they're just stupid. If they buy at the deadline, that's even more stupid. This team is 14 and a half games back of first place in the AL East. Are you kidding me? This is a trend towards a fire sale of talent at the August 3rd trade deadline. Now, who is safe? And in my eyes, there's only one player that is safe, and there are a couple players that are probably not getting traded. The one who's safe gotta be Wilson Contreras. He's the only right-handed power bat in this lineup that is actually, performing, okay? You look around the rest of the team, and I don't see a single right-handed power bat that's doing anything, all right? Now, the guys that I don't think will be traded, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, the young guys, those guys are good. The premium assets of this team are Aroldis Chapman. He is going to be the top reliever on the market. And for only 1 year, you can take on a veteran, have him in the back of your bullpen, make a playoff push. Trade him to a contender? Don't know. Sonny Gray. Although he holds a no-trade clause, he's having a fantastic season on a team that is not. So, maybe a change of scenery here for him again will be the right move. Jarren Duran, a guy who's been, circle around trade rumors for forever. Jarren Duran's getting traded. This might be the best time. Clustered outfield with Willie Abreu and Cedar Rafaela, Roman Anthony, Masataka Yoshida, Jarren Duran, all those guys in the outfield. You don't really know what to do with them. Trading Jarren Duran seems like the most likely of those guys to be traded. Ranger Suarez is going to be a difficult one to trade since they just signed him to a 5-year contract in the offseason. But it's basically now or never for him because his trade value is probably going to be at the highest it will ever be during the point of his Red Sox career. And then you talk about versatility and you look at Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and he's another guy that could be traded for some prospects. So I will end off the episode with some mock trades because I think that would be kind of fun. I have 3 for you guys, and you guys are going to have to let me know what you think of them. We're going to go for the first one. We're going to have Sonny Gray shipped off to the Orioles for third baseman Kobe Mayo and relief pitcher Chase McDermott. Why do this? Well, the Orioles are looking to add pitching and maybe push towards the playoffs or wild card team sneak in there. And the Red Sox, they're going to get Kobe Mayo. He's controllable, and he's got infield power at third base position. And Chase McDermott, who is a near MLB-ready reliever that can be used as a depth piece. And this team needs depth because they don't have it. Jarren Duran to the Padres, exploiting the fact that the Padres like speedy guys. And Preller's just general want to get rid of anyone possible that's a prospect to win now, and then they just never win now. For Jeremiah Estrada, Adam Measure, and Eguy Rosario. The aim with Estrada and Measure is just, once again, pitching depth, and then Eguy Rosario, infield utility player who can, hold his own. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's a sell, there's nothing else to it than that, but... And then if somehow you want to trade Ranger Suarez, even though he signed that big contract at the start of the offseason, I see him going to the Giants, and I think there's a 1-1 exchange for Bryce Eldridge. Well, the Giants desperately need pitching, because after Logan Webb, they're not looking too great. Robbie Ray, and then fill in the blank and tell me that's going to be a fantastic arm. No. The Red Sox are going to get a middle-of-the-order power threat to add to their lineup. However, Bryce Eldridge plays first base. Wilson Contreras plays first base. And then they also have Tristan Casas, that's an injured player. Honestly, I think the Casas experiment is kind of over. However, I do think that Contreras could go back to catching possibly, or he could DH. In a way, you don't really need Masataka Yoshida. You can always flip him somewhere else. All in all, I think these 3 trades are possible. Do I think they're going to be made? I'm not too sure. But that is my take. That is what is happening with the Boston Red Sox. They have just been awful this year. And the city of Boston is frustrated with it. Something needs to happen. And even if that means this year just ain't our year, which it's pretty much looking like it isn't, considering how far back we are in the division, playoffs aren't looking likely. And we need to make the most of the season. So if that means just loading up on prospects and depth pieces, I am all for that. But that is what's happening with the Boston Red Sox. That was episode 20 of the Warning Track Power podcast, where we're just a few feet short of the fences, but all in on the game. See you next time.